Alright guys, Hatch back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The CDL is officially back this weekend after a big break after Toronto. Big talking points though over the last couple of weeks. Will OpTic Texas be able to maintain their championship winning performance at that championship Sunday? They did not look like a team that was going to win the event going into Sunday, but they reached absolutely new levels, not just in terms of play, but also in terms of energy. FormaL gives his thoughts on the reason why Pred might be an absolutely fantastic partner to Shotzzy this season, and Shotzzy says a similar thing. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. This is Krim going back-to-back yesterday. So he won the first two races that he competed in at Sebring, was it, several weeks ago. Then they did another race and it was Road America, right? And I think he was second in both races there. This time he's won again on both occasions here at the Circuit of the Americas. So 4 championship victories, okay, 4 race victories for Krim so far this season. This is the start of the race here at the Circuit of the Americas yesterday, and then he made this pass right about here on the leader Nick Schaefer to take the win of the race. So Earboard has done it again. He also said in his kind of post-race analysis that he had some sort of battery issue, so while he was going through the corners he had to like hold down a button on his steering wheel in order to get rid of the error message or whatever. So yeah, just sensational content. Probably not the best piece of racing though we saw yesterday, because I was at the Indy 500 yesterday and wow, that was absolutely mega after the rain all cleared. Met a couple of guys there actually as well, which was absolutely sensational stuff. Plenty else to talk about. XDefiant has been causing a lot of controversy over the last few days. Dashy has been roasting it at every possible opportunity, which, well, maybe it makes sense because X has roasted Dashy and OpTic at every possible opportunity over the last couple of seasons on the flag, so maybe it's kind of, you know, what goes around comes around. But there was talk from Dashy and from others on the clunkiness of the movement, just because there will be players that try and play this. I'm pretty sure even Prestinni yesterday said that he's looking to go pro in XDefiant. Yeah, okay, here it is. Who's competing in XDefiant? Need teammates to run the scene with, you know, game is great, won't be losing, let me know. A game that takes skill and movement, right, meant for me. So I think you'll see this with lots of players that are either like former COD pros or on the verge of maybe calling it a day and retiring from professional Call of Duty, that there will be some sort of XDefiant pro scene. Whether that game is like Pro League ready, I mean, it's brand new, it's probably not, but are any of the Call of Duties really professional ready when they come out, like esports ready? I don't really think so. So you're going to see there's some other pros as well, and actually X was kind of explaining, actually, before we talk about this, exactly why some of the movement feels kind of clunky. They want to prevent players spamming jump and crouch. So I guess the point in the spamming crouch is to get rid of snaking, right? Because it's the same way that in Counter-Strike, if you spam crouch again and again behind cover to effectively snake the head glitch, it will not let you anymore. Your character will get tired, basically. So there's ways that they've tried to resolve similar problems in XDefiant. They don't want people to be bunny hopping forever around corners. They don't want people to be snaking. So they've got their solutions, but well, the feeling is that they probably haven't executed those solutions quite in the right way, and the game isn't feeling as good as it could do. So those are problems they are working to resolve. But yeah, I think we will see players like Prestinni. I mean, look, former Call of Duty World Champions. Zero has, of course, confirmed that he's going to compete in XDefiant. I think we will see more over time, and I wonder how much interest there'll be, because when Rensports, which is like a driving game that Crimsix played for FaZe, when Rensport arrived, like every esports team within reason got a team in that. Like, you know, FaZe, basically all the big organizations you can think of got involved in Rensport, with the exception of like OpTic and stuff like that. But it was a big deal, and that game was a racing simulator game, but it was designed from the ground up with, you know, esports in mind. And XDefiant is not in some ways too dissimilar, so I think there will be interest from teams. Even Boston Breach kind of implied they might be interested, which would be Oxygen Esports, right? Which I wouldn't be surprised at all, because they've got money, right? As we full well know. And I wonder if some of these guys, if things don't work out getting back into the Pro League, you know, so someone like Bance, for example, might think about it, because these were the champions, though, of European Cup 9, Harry, Bance, Denta, and Cobra. So they made a change recently. Cobra, of course, came in, who has been cooking lately in the European scene. Of course, French player who was in consideration, I think, at some point potentially to be joining those Seattle Surge guys, with of course aBeZy and Brezzy over there with whom he has played before. Linz was the other man of that Awobabob's Challengers team last season, who is of course now on the Minnesota Rocker, not, to be fair, having the best time. Some drama as always in the North American Challengers scene. I always talk about it because every time we talk about Challengers, even just results, there's always some sort of drama that's happened, and this is one of them. So Fire gets dropped straight away, and yes, this is mind blown. He got dropped by the Houston Spartans. to basically Spart's team. Already got a new team, already got, you know, got absolutely backstabbed. Can't wait to play those guys. So yeah, looking forward to that. And he walks straight in Fire to play with Classic, Capsule and Temp. So that's a pretty nice team as well. And those are some players that, well, maybe we'll talk about or at least think about later on today when we come down to roster changes that could or maybe should have happened now and potentially may happen in the very near future. These, though, were the winners of the Challengers Cup number 9 yesterday, and this was Nastie's team. This is actually pretty cool, right? Because, well, he left his team the other day. I think it was, who was complaining? Proloot, right? Because Nastie's had sketched on Proloot's team last minute, and they weren't happy about that. Went on to play with these guys, Paul X, 2real and Yuli, and, well, guess what? They go on to get the job done. And Nastie's here laughing in the replies, possibly because, like, you know, he kind of did sketch on his team last minute, and then goes on to win the events with the team that he played. So cool to see for a guy like Nastie's, but I also do wonder, like, if Prestinni is going to XDefiant and potentially find a team and a salary, is there not something in there for Nastie's to consider? His return to the Pro League is possible for Nastie's, but after this stint, it's going to be a bit of a challenge, I think, for him to go back into a team that he really wants to play with. And we've seen that when he's not on a team that he wants to play with, his results aren't necessarily as good over the last couple of years. Intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below, as always. But a couple of clips to share here on the Shotzzy Pred situation, because at the start of the season, this was one of the big questions on this OpTic team. How would Shotzzy and Pred work? There was talk about, would Shotzzy be better to partner with somebody else? Would it actually work that well with Pred? Of course, they had Hook last season. That Shotzzy-Hook duo worked very well. I think there was no doubt that they were going to get Pred. The question was, would their playstyles mesh? My feeling was, give it time and they will. When you've got players that are just that talented, like, there's no way that it's impossible for them to make it work. It may not work so consistently, and it may take them some time, but I feel like it was inevitable to me that Shotzzy and Pred would find a way to make it happen. And I guess you've also got to consider Simp and aBeZy, who are the gold standard of SMG duos. They have teamed with each other for 5 years, right? It's been since 2019, where Simp came into the United team, played with aBeZy. Since then, they have been, of course, inseparable, and they have 5 years of playing experience on games that in some ways are relatively similar to, you know, how they have been. It's not like we're going from jetpacks to boots on the ground to more strategic COD. Every year in some sense has been relatively similar because it's all been designed for Warzone, and, you know, the games aren't that dissimilar really. Pred and Shotzzy, sure, they've teamed for a few months now, but it's not quite a few years. So finding the groove with each other in terms of comms and in terms of playstyle and who says what in which moments and understanding their tendencies and chemistry is something that is clearly going to take some time. And if you look at the SMG duos in the league, HyDra and Kismet, you know, there's only really one piece of that that's firing big time right now. CleanX and Envoy on Toronto, you know, I think you can do better than that. CleanX is great. Envoy's, of course, a world champion, but this season he's not been performing at an especially top level. So really, in terms of SMG duos, you're looking at Simp and aBeZy, you're looking at Pred and Shotzzy. And this event, certainly on the Sunday, Pred and Shotzzy were the guys to beat.
Oh, dude, Ken had so many, like, one bullet pieces that he could have got, or, like, could have, almost got.
Nice, come to me.
He kept getting like one bullet off, bro. Oh my god, it did. That goes hard. That goes hard. Pred brings a lot of good energy for the team. A lot of good energy.
Let's go!
Oh my god, dude, what the hell?
Holy fuck, baby! Holy fuck,
I don't think I've ever seen Anka that hype before. I don't think I've ever seen Anka like hype like that before.
What the fuck? Good shit.
Yeah, I think it is like Pred doing that to him.
Alright, here's like an example. Literally the best example. He was first off spawn. He's in front of me, right? So like the flow should be like him, no hesitate, go help time, and me basically just hold it back, right? But like he legit told me like, yo, go like do your thing. I was like, yo, AG block, or actually I was about to say that, but then he already told me what to do. Like I basically, because he knew that I was in flow, so he's like, all right, don't even worry, like I'll block for you, don't even trip. And then he just like flood regardless, or flood in anyways. But like just little shit like that, that's like a very little thing, but it goes a long way in hindsight. But if I were to play for specific individual shit, I promise you I'd be the best player in the game. I fucking promise you. It is the most easiest shit, but the reason why I play like I play is purely for the fucking team, dude. It's all team-based, bro. That's the thing, dude. It's all like team-based shit, dude. Like last year, for example. Last year, when we got Dan, I could literally do whatever the fuck I wanted. I could cut. I could get 2 seconds. That specific team, that is how Dan allowed us to play. This team, we're all good. Like, we're all good enough to literally just fucking play as a team and just use teamwork and just make sure we're doing the right shit. We don't need to do fucking, oh, yo, only one sub slay, the other sub get healed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the best shit is when a team is able to do anything. Any person is able to slay, get objective time, take routes. You know what I'm saying? That's like a winning team. And that is why FaZe has their fucking... That's why FaZe good.
So Shotzzy's talking about more the in-game playstyle decisions and situations where Pred will say something or he will say something to each other in terms of the way they're going to play the game. Is kind of fascinating in a way because it wasn't long ago when Karma was on stream talking about how this whole, you know, Pred laying down in the corner playstyle and just playing for kills in that way was not helping the team at all. And clearly they've had discussions on that because, sure, it's not like it was always Shotzzy and Pred going off at the same time, but Pred certainly played with more confidence this event than I think we've seen before. Pred is just like a massive confidence player. When he believes he's the best player in the lobby and he's going to fry these guys, he almost certainly does, and I think we see that against most teams he played, but until, you know, this series really against FaZe, that wasn't really the story against FaZe so far this season. But, you know, this is the moment that, of course, Shotzzy got in the water, and I'd honestly wonder as well, given that 6-star is now going to change no more water hill, I wonder what that's going to mean for OpTic, just because they're so good at that hill, because Shotzzy's unbelievable at it. Now that's going to be gone. Is it going to, you know, make them worse? I mean, not substantially, but it might somewhat reduce their potency, let's say, on this 6-star map. Now they no longer have that water hill at their disposal come these qualifiers and going forwards. But of course, the other feature that FormaL really mentions was around Pred as a character, right, as an individual. How he leveled up the energy of that team, because I don't think I've ever seen Shotzzy with, you know, that much aggression and hype behind him and all this. And as FormaL said, a lot of that probably comes from Pred. Like last year, they made Championship Sundays, they made Grand Finals with that Ghosty and Hook team. But they had nowhere near the same energy as they did in that Grand Finals, and they didn't play anywhere near as good a COD as, you know, they did this time around. Like, I don't think anyone was beating them in that Finals, even FaZe playing at the peak of their powers. I don't know if they would have beaten OpTic the way they played. Okay, maybe the maps they had a part to play and the reason why they took down Toronto so comfortably. We've talked about that over the last few days. But certainly they were playing some unbelievable COD, and lots of that has to stem from Pred. So this, of course, is the point that we were expecting at the start of the season, but also does make you wonder, like, if this team doesn't deliver the results from now to the end of the season, just hypothetically, what do, right? Because, you know, Shotzzy ain't going anywhere. Pred, I don't think, should go anywhere. Kenny shouldn't go anywhere, absolutely, and Dashy shouldn't go anywhere. Like, he was an unbelievable performer. So having proven that they can be championship winners, now they've just got to, you know, maximize the capabilities from here on out. But I think that battle between Simp and aBeZy and Pred and Shotzzy as SMG duos is going to be great to witness from now to the end of the season, right? Now Pred's found his groove a little more. Even sometimes that means he's on the AR, right? Because on maps like Subbase, he'll run the MCW and absolutely fry with it. But it still works well with Shotzzy, and it seems like in and outside of the game, they're finding a really good line of chemistry at the moment, which I think we all expected that they would find at some point. But I guess now the question is, can they replicate that going forward, right? Because the qualifiers are going to start again this weekend. Their qualifiers, they probably don't have the hardest run ever. It doesn't really matter anyway. They'll win enough to make it to the winners bracket, and then from there, you just go on and try and win the tournament. Now, to be honest, Major 4 is a relatively big deal. It's still a major, but what everyone cares about now is the World Championship, right? That's the reality of the situation. Toronto was a great one to win. The next event is going to be about qualifying for the World Championship for many teams, and for whoever wins, obviously you want to win. Take the momentum going into Champs. But really now it's about Champs in Dallas and who wins that event, because that is going to determine really who the best team was this season. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
What do you attribute that win to?
Bro, I don't know why they're playing sub-base, bro. I mean, Teach can't fucking, Fat Terry can't fuck with me on sub-base. That's the problem. Because I have a 1.38 league leader. I was fucking pissing on them, bro.